Whoa, let's learn stuff. Let's learn about product strategy from chapter 8. So, going back to the whole idea, if you were trying to market Athens State, those are the kind of things that you could feature, right? All right, so let's move on then. I think we got this. There's functions. I want to say function is more what does it do? Like, what's its function? So, what is a university for? On how you want to define it, well, that's one of the reasons you go to a university is to be connected with employers. So, that's one of them. Yeah, so getting your higher degree, right? Higher education.
Yeah.
I think what you're saying is like lifelong learning opportunities. People don't necessarily just go to school just to get that degree. It could be just they're there for professional development, for example. Let's call it credentialing. So, okay. So yeah, I think we got that part. Uses. Let's see. This one, it's a little abstract for me. Again, the textbook didn't really define, well, what do you mean by uses? Like, so I had to think more about this, like, what can you achieve with whatever it is that Athens State gives you? So be thinking about, well, what can you do with the skills you get, say, from this marketing class, or what can you do with that degree that you get? So I'll just put on here, just to kind of help you along, job placement, right? So again, that kind of goes with, there's a lot of overlap with the other ideas, career fairs, networking, things like that. So you can use what you do at Athens State for job placement. So does that make sense? Right. So that's another way to think of this product or service that you get at Athens State. It goes along with these ideas here too. You could use it to further your education, right? So for me, for example, yeah, I already got my doctorate, but I've also just I've used actually taking classes to learn a new skill or just to keep up on things. So for example, if you were paying attention or if you remember from my introduction, I actually just finished this, so I'm pretty happy about that. I decided as part of my professional development to get a graduate certificate in marketing analytics, and I just had my final yesterday, so that took 2.5 hours, so that was fun. But yeah, it was let's see, what, it was more than 4 classes. It was 12 credit hours. But anyway, yeah, furthering my education. That's one of the things that you could do when you go to Athens State. Like, that's just where you go to do that. So that's one of the uses there. Yeah. So see, that was already covered earlier, right? But then that also goes here. Like, you said personal growth and confidence.
Learning new skills, maybe.
Building confidence, learning new skills. You're learning about, well, management, right? Like about in a business setting, how is it that you would lead an organization? So there's that. Or I'll use my example for marketing analytics. It's for me, it was, so a lot of the professors that I had, they do research and work in marketing analytics. So I learned about what they were doing in the field, the kind of things that were happening. So it's a way for me to be updated in my knowledge of the industry, right? So there's that whole personal growth, learning new skills, professional development. So see, it's we have all these things to say about Athens State just by thinking about the many sides of, well, what is it that makes it a product? So hopefully, you can start to imagine that, yeah, for your paper or for whatever business you're wanting to start. So I'm speaking to, like, I know many of your classmates are doing this for their business idea or their current business. So yeah, be thinking about all these aspects. And, later on in our marketing plan paper, and then also your reading, you're going to learn about promotional strategies, right? That's when you start telling others about your products so that hopefully they will want to buy your product. So I hope also that you're starting to realize just how much of a role marketing plays in our lives, right? Whether you're going to be in a marketing role or not, it's something that's important to wherever it is you're going to be working, or whatever business you might be running in the future. All right, so let me go back to the definition here. Almost done. We're down to 2 items. So there's the brand itself. So I think this one, a lot of students have a pretty good idea of what a brand is, right? You think about its colors, the logo, how an organization makes you feel, or what is it that you think about when you first hear about them. So I've kind of given you ideas in the last few weeks, like if for whatever reason, whether it's true or not, it's just what people think when they hear your brand. So like Toyota, a lot of people would say reliability, or if you say Apple, you might say innovation. So things like that. Or if you think Athens State, you think, I don't know, what do you think when you hear Athens State? Yeah. So that's older than the state. Or wait, the state was 1819 maybe? Well, anyway, whatever, right? A long time ago. What about, yeah, so yeah, that goes with, it has its heritage, stability. Then there's also I think I've heard this a lot, that it's pretty affordable compared to a lot of universities. I know recently they raised tuitions, but it's still pretty cheap. I know, I mean, this is a different state. Because I mentioned going back to school to get a graduate certificate. That was $1,500 per hour. So so I don't think that's how much tuition is at Athens State, right? So yeah. All right. So the last thing I want to talk about is a pretty, I mean, it's kind of one of those things you take for granted when it comes to the products that we buy, but packaging really is also a big part of the product. It's what gets your attention. For example, when you're at a store, right? Um, just think about, say, the different products, right? It's what's gonna make it stand out, because, oh, I want to buy this thing because it looks cool, like the packaging looks good. And then the packaging itself, besides the utility function of protecting the product, say if it's a box for a television, it's also a way to continue your branding. Like you're gonna have your logo on there. You could put information about your organization. Well, this one doesn't say anything, but some products have that, like cereal boxes, for example, they have a lot of information on there. So packaging in the context of something like Athens State, what do you think? So I'll give you a clue. So when it comes to the product, it's it's whatever holds it, right? And so for something that's more of a service, I would say for Athens, it's more the student experience. So what kind of things related to student experience do you think goes along with the Athens State packaging?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's something I'm pretty sure that's in the website somewhere, talking about the student teacher ratio, right? That a better connection with the professor. So there's and just to give you a clue and to get the conversation going, you've already mentioned a lot of this also, right? There's grad I lost my screen. There's the graduation alumni services, so it's about helping you connect to employers, for example, right? We have a career services, and then once you're an alumni, you might still be able to or you should still be able to continue to have that connection with the university, so that you could be connected with these employers still, or maybe you could be a mentor someday to future students. There's also, or whatever it is that's over here, whatever kind of campus life. So just all the different events that happen here,
Okay.
ships. Yep. definitely. That goes along with the packaging. That would be one of the reasons why somebody would go here is because, yeah, starting with something like Calhoun, they know, oh, yeah, I can just go straight to Athens State after that. So there's definitely that. Um, Maybe not so much here. I don't know what the enrollment process is like on the student side, but I know a lot of other universities, that's their big differentiator is the enrollment process to where they made it really easy. And also, I know, I can't remember the university right now, but I know of one that as soon as a student sends in an application, they pretty much get communications already right away that would help them all the way to registering for their classes to where the student doesn't have to think much about that. So definitely the different processes. With that said, that's all I got.